Trivia time! Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me, otherwise I'm talking to no one, but that's what I normally do anyhow when I'm making these types of videos. So if you can hear me, just give me a shout out in the chat. There's a bit of a lag, but I am here. But welcome to my very first live stream. You saw a bunch of me and my brother. He's not here today. You literally just missed him. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here due to existential issues, but it's just me here today. So hopefully there are people listening and seeing. I see people in the chat. If you can see and hear me, just let me know that I am actually talking. I can see my microphone's doing something, but I actually have no idea what's going on out in the world there today. So yeah, today is going to be a little bit different than normal, my normal videos. If you liked my very scripted and edited videos, then you know this is going to be a disappointment because it's going to be a lot slower and more improvised. So hopefully you are talking. Oh, I see a thumbs down from one person, but then I see other people saying, I am talking. Hear perfectly. Perfect. Okay, great. So yeah, today is going to be a live stream because I've got some other stuff coming up on Monday. There's going to be some new word data that I'm going to collect for my next video. So I was going to just try and do something this month, and someone reached out and commented seeing some of my videos in Southern California and said, are you okay? So the sorry, I'm reading chat and I'm also talking. I've never had to do this multitasking before. So someone asked like, hey, are you okay? It looks like you're in Southern California and it looks like a bunch of Southern California is on fire. And yes, I'm okay. I'm close but not too close to the fires. You can see them out in the distance, not today, but like a week or two ago, you could see them. So I'm close enough that I'm worried about it, but if the fires got to my house, like half the city would have to have been burnt down, and that's not where we're at, thankfully. So yeah, but before we get that, let me just make sure I talked about all the things. Yeah, so I'm going to get a little bit more into that as well as the fundraiser that is hopefully up on the side somewhere. But yeah, this is the set we use for the videos, also called my apartment. And so today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go through some behind the scenes data, and we've got chat going, and I'll try and monitor it as best I can. It's hard for me to talk and read at the same time. Target ads, and that was a way for doing that. Yeah, and I have a poll. I can't see the poll on this screen. I'm going to be clicking around periodically just to see. So there's a poll at the top of the chat, and it says, how did you find my channel? Because of the videos that I've done this past year. I basically made flat earther videos, or videos trying to measure the shape of the earth at the beginning of the year, and then those didn't do very well. So then I started making word analysis videos of YouTubers and politicians, and those have done a lot better. So if you see the poll at the top, go ahead and let me know how you found me. Those are mainly the 3 videos types I made this year. Otherwise, if you found me, it must have been from before 2024. So and I see a lot of people talk about ads as well. The ads, I didn't have that listed, but we can definitely talk about ads. But before we get into that, I am going to mention the donation, which is kind of based on the fires. I was going to do this live chat anyhow, and then like half of LA decided to have some unfortunate trouble. I first learned about it last week, or the first day, I think it was a week or two ago. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that right now. And I'm going to transition over. Hopefully this will work. So yeah, so last week, or was it last week? No, it was 2 weeks, yeah, a week and a half ago. I was at work, and one of my co-workers said, hey, have you seen the smoke up at the top of the hill? I said, no. So then we went up to the roof, to the balcony, and this is what we saw when we looked out towards the mountains north of us. We're on the west side of LA, so this is the Palisades fire on the first day of it, and so you can kind of see maybe how close we are. It looks close, but I am zoomed in. We're a couple of miles away, and there's a lot of buildings between us and the fire. Oh, is there no pole? Hold on, sorry, I'm not reading chat. Can't see the pole. Oh, that's odd, because I can see it. If you scroll to the top, can you not see it? Let me, when I log in, it's if you scroll to the very top, can you see it? Just let me know if you can see it. It says, how did you find my channel? Oh, poll complete. Oh, I have to maybe do a new poll. Okay, hold on, sorry about that. Let me just create the new poll right now. I think I created the poll before the stream started, and I don't know that I can, it may not let you do that. Okay, so I'm gonna type and I'm gonna talk, maybe at the same time, probably not very successfully, but I'm just gonna go ahead and recreate the poll right now. I'm copying and pasting all of the options in, and hopefully that will work. Yeah, it's interesting how people do live streams when they have to talk and read at the same time. I have trouble doing each of those things individually, never mind doing them simultaneously. Okay, how did you find the channel? YouTube Word Analysis found the poll video. Oh, I see, they're sorted and weird. That's fine, I'll just do it this way. Start poll, okay. Hopefully now there's a new poll up in the chat, and then you can vote away. So thank you for notifying me of that. Yeah, so let's see. Let me just check in everything else is okay. Poll completed without being complete. Yeah, so that's the fire that we were seeing on Tuesday. Here's another one. This is more or less the same. So for those who are wondering, I'm okay. And I live farther away than here. I drove home shortly after this, and I got even farther away from the fire. So I'm not personally being affected, but you can see kind of how this is what West LA sort of looked like a week or so ago. So I, during the pandemic, volunteered during the, oh, sorry, I'm reading a little bit more. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I volunteered with the YMCA a couple of years ago during the pandemic. They had a food bank, so people could drop off their food donations, and then we sorted them into grocery bags, and then we put them in our cars and drove them to different places. Like I delivered to a senior center nearby. And then when I was, then when this all happened with the fires, I saw that they were also accepting volunteers. And so last week I went and volunteered with them. This is just to give you a little bit of proof that, you know, this is a real thing. So this is a parking garage. I didn't take very great videos because I was busy doing other stuff, but this is their parking garage that's been taken over with volunteers, and there's a bunch of water here, and there's food over here, and there's clothing in the back. There was so much clothing. And there's me very quickly taking, here, I'll pause it, just in between moving stuff, taking a little video of it, just to kind of show you all that this is a real place, a real thing that we did. So that's what the oh, here's us loading up a truck. So this is what the fundraiser is. So if you go to the side somewhere, there should be a fundraiser. If you feel compelled to donate, you're welcome to do so. I also have super chats turned on, but I think the super chat is a donation, which is great because I was going to take the super chats and donate them there. Also, if you want to go to the website, it's in the description, and you can just click on the link to go to their website, and there you can donate, or you can also volunteer. If you're in the LA area, you can go and volunteer. You sign out a waiver, and then off you go. Let me read the chat. Read random chat messages which come in their views. I think most with these much views. Okay, a couple people asked, "Where's the other guy?" I mentioned at the beginning. You just missed him. He was here. He can't come due to existential issues. Also, if you watch any of my videos where I do interviews with people, you know it's just me. Yeah, so it's unfortunately you've just got me. The way I would describe it though is all the parts of the channel that you all like, the things you like about Data Time, that's because of me. And any of the stuff that you don't like, I don't like this or that, it was his fault. So I try not to throw him under the bus, but that's how it usually is. So anyway, so for this stream, this is kind of like a fundraiser. So if you feel like you'd like to give, you're more than welcome to. And if you just want to hang out, we're going to be going over some behind the scenes data today. So I think that's mostly the housekeeping stuff that I had for that, showing the fire videos and showing the volunteer videos. So some of the stuff I want to talk about today is, one of the reasons I don't have a video this month is because I've been working on some other stuff. I've been working on a website and also on an email newsletter. So I'm going to show you that now. So that's also in the description. If you go to the, what can you see right now? You can see this, okay. If you go to the description, there's a link to itsdatatime.com. So I've got a domain here. It is still under construction. Right now it just has links to some of my videos that are on the channel. I want to have more links here to some of the tools I have. Also, I've got random video that I think should have done better. It's about the Bible code, something not too many people know about. It was a big deal in the 90s. It was not quite a conspiracy theory, but they thought you could predict the future with hidden messages in the Bible. It's not religious. They pick the Bible, but you can do this with any text. There's just a way you can generate predictions for anything that you would want to have. And then here is the newsletter. So I'm going to be starting an email newsletter because I realized I don't have any way to connect to any of you outside of YouTube, because if like my YouTube channel went away, I wouldn't be able to find out how to get in connection with anyone. So I do have the newsletter here, and you can go ahead and add yourself there, and I won't spam you with a bunch of newsletters. I think I'll send it once a month at first. Maybe I'll go up to once a week. Here's a sample of what I sent out a couple of days ago. I had 16 subscribers, and I basically talked about the same thing I'm going to talk about now, giving an update about the new website, the new word tracker, which we're going to look at in just a second, and then just some of the videos that I am working on. I might also do other fun stuff like send me some of the videos you've seen on YouTube that you think are kind of interesting, and maybe I'll go review them. So yeah, let's take a look at the word tracker. That I don't have on linked on the website because I don't know if I want to make it public yet. But some of you have been asking, hey, is there a way that I can use your word tracking software to do stuff? And it's a little bit tricky because right now I have to download all the videos for a particular channel, and that takes up a certain amount of quota. I'm using the YouTube API, and that basically allows you to write software that directly connects to their database and provides you information. But if you say, I want to download 1 million videos, there's problems with that. So you can only download a certain number per day. And so sometimes I have to take multiple days to download a single channel. So I am putting some of these channels into this database for you. And this is just doing a simple word tracker. So let's say, for example, the video I just did was about Vsauce. And if you come in here, you can take a look at all of the transcripts that I've downloaded for Vsauce, and they're indexed in a database in a way that allows you to find common phrases. So in the video I did, if you haven't seen the Vsauce video, one of the common phrases is the speed of light. He says that a lot. And if you come in here, you can actually search for it, and it shows you every instance of that phrase in every video he's done. Well, there may be a limit. I may cap it off, but you can not only see it here, but you can click on it and you can watch it. I think I've got sound turned off. I don't think you can hear it. In fact, I've got it muted here. You probably can't hear this, but here, I'll put the subtitles on here. So here we have, I'll just refresh it. So here we have speed of light. Yeah. So yeah, that is one of the things I'm working on. So if you are interested in it, you can go to this one right here, and you can go through. I've got some of the channels that I've downloaded, kind of the big channels. It takes a little while to download a channel, so it's not like you can do it on demand. But that is what I have right now for you all to try out if you're interested. So I don't know, do you have notice all this editing? Yeah, I think I've answered those. So yeah, so if you're interested in taking a look, go to the website and you will be able to try it out. Let's go on now to the next thing I was going to talk about. Do we want to do the email dashboard? Sure, we'll do the email dashboard. Let me show this. Okay, so the dashboard, how many do I have? I've got 17 subscribers right now, and there's some data on open rate. I sent out an email, I think my first one like a week or so ago, and 62% have opened it, I think. Is that open? Yeah, open rate. And then click-through rate. I don't know if that means clicking on the links or whatnot. But yeah, so I've got 17 of you who have subscribed to the email list. If you want to subscribe now, you can do so, and we'll watch the number go up. But that's a great way of staying connected with me in the future. Okay, more questions about the twin or editing. I'll let you decide on how you want to interpret that. Yeah, so let's go to the next thing here. Next thing I want to talk about was the bell notification. So sometimes you'll hear YouTubers talk about subscribe and get the bell on. And there's some interesting data on that I wanted to just take a look at, especially with my more recent video. So let me just do that real quick here. Okay, so here's my Vsauce video, and here are the impressions I got. So I had 2 million impressions. That doesn't mean views. That means it was the algorithm sent it out to 2 million people. And from that, about 76,000 actually clicked on it and watched the video. So that's like 3.6%. It's not great. It's okay. It's not great. And they watched about 7.5 minutes of it. So watch time is 9,000. Are those minutes or hours? Sometimes it's both. Sometimes they pick one versus the other. Oh, they don't tell me here. But the bell notification is what's interesting. So some people will say to me, hey, I subscribed to your channel, but I haven't seen you post anything in a while. And I'm like, I've posted a bunch of stuff since you last. Really? I didn't see it. I said, do you have the bell on? And like, what's the bell? So when you subscribe to a YouTube channel, it's not like you're really subscribing. The subscribe button is more of a like. It just tells the algorithm, this is the kind of stuff I want. And the algorithm says, okay, I'll factor that into my determination. So next to the subscribe button, there is let me find it here. Oh, these are just all my videos. Here, I'll go to my least popular video here. But if you go here, it says subscribe, but then there's the all button. So personalize is the default, but you say all, that means you will get notified here in the oh, you can't see the bell icon, it's up at the top, but at the top right corner, there's a bell icon. Oh, can I scroll down? No, I can't because my face is covering it. And you can see in your notifications tab here on this side here, all of the things that you're subscribed to, but it doesn't always give you a notification. So that's where the bell comes in. If you set the bell to say, send me notifications for everything, then you'll for sure get the videos. Let me show you how the bell and subscribers don't work as well as you might think. So for this video, which currently has 130,000 views, about 3,600 subscribers got notified of it. So out of 130,000, less than 4,000 got notified, hey, you subscribe to this channel and there's a new video that's out. And of those, only about 2% actually clicked on it in their notification tab, meaning I got 77 views from the actual notification from actual subscribers who actually got the bell on. So most of my views did not come from actual subscribers clicking their notification tab. It might be that they clicked on it in their homepage. If you subscribe, it'll show up in your homepage as well. And you get that as well. Okay, hold on. There's a garbage truck coming. I anticipated this. Whenever I shoot videos, that's when all the noisiest things in my neighborhood decide to sing together at the same moment in time. Usually, if this were a real video, I'd stop and just wait for it to go by. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It looks like it's moving on. So yeah, so if you're interested in this channel and want to see more, getting the bell on is at least a good step in doing that. But even that, it's like, yeah, hardly anybody uses notifications. So it's just the way things are now. I don't know the better solution, but presumably if you're subscribed and you get the bell on, you'll also see it in your home page when it first pops up. Let me check chat. Your video is awesome. So the Wheatley Core, your videos are absolutely awesome. Thank you. They really have the Bill Nye vibe. Yeah. So I'm gonna bring this up. A lot of people say my intros are reminiscent of Bill Nye, which I don't see. I'm probably the worst person to ask, but I thought I was less cringe, still cringe, but not that much cringe than Bill Nye. But I will let you decide. If you're enjoying the videos, that's of course the most important thing. But it's an interesting discussion. Okay, let me check the chat actually, or not the chat, the poll. Can I click on it? No. How do I view it? Okay, so right now I'm looking at the poll. How'd you find my channel? 51% YouTuber word analysis. That's what I expect. That's what I suspected. 22% found me before 2024. That's interesting to know, because I had a lot of subscribers in the last year, like 50,000, whereas before 2024 I had like 20,000 subscribers total. So I've gotten more subscriber in the last year than I had in all previous years combined. 16% came here from political analysis. That's also what I expected. A lot of the people who watch the political videos are much older, and I suspect they're not the kind to come to a live stream and that sort of thing. And then 11% came here from flat earther videos. So that's interesting. That's a little bit more than I suspected. I thought my flat earther videos did not perform nearly as well as my other ones. Here, let me just go through and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me come back over here. All right, just give me a second. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Okay, so here is my subscriber graph over the last couple of days, but now I'm going to go back to November. Was it November? Oh, I went back to views. Oh, I hate when it does this. Let's go back to subscribers. Okay, so here's how many subscribers I got every day of November. So here I got 189. Here's a 190. Here's 27. Here is negative 57. I'll let you guess what kind of video I published the day before. It was a video about, it was the interview I did with Will Duffy, the guy who went to Antarctica with flat earthers and globe earthers to see whether or not the earth is a globe or is flat. I lost 50 subscribers that day, which is a record, you might say. That's a positive way of looking at it. I've never lost that many subscribers in one day. And I'd gotten a lot of subscribers from the previous videos I did from word tracking and that sort of thing. And then I did the flat earth video, video about flat earth. And yeah, that was a definite shift from what I had done previously. And I recovered, but it was an interesting switch over. So yeah. Someone's asking, is the poll on this live stream? Yes. If you scroll to the top, you should be able to see the. I think it is. Let me check. I see it. I'm looking at it on my screen, but let me look at it on what YouTube shows. Yeah, it should be the first thing that I think pops up on the bottom until you click the button, and then it should kind of go up. So yeah. Let me take a look. No, how do I? Give me a moment. Nope. Don't do that. I'm clicking buttons on my end to try and see. Yeah. So so that's an interesting sort of little facet of information with how the how my channel performs. So it's also interesting to know how people are watching it and where they're coming from. Let's see, someone, Eugenio Vita said, you popped up in ad while I was watching a video and correctly guessed from what channel the Woody was from. Respect the hustle. Yeah, so that is, I have a video about that too. So if you go, I think it's the default video on my channel. If you look at, if you go to my homepage, it's the one with my robot eyes. I don't know if that makes sense when I say robot eyes. Most people probably don't understand that. So if you go to the homepage, it's, oh, it's not on here. It's this one here. It's the robot, this one on the edge here with the robot eyes. People thought I was a robot figuring out where they were on YouTube from and then making an ad about it. It's not that magical. When you make a Google ad, you can say make a Google video ad. That's what a YouTube ad is. And then you say this video ad, only serve it on YouTube, and you can say only place it on certain channels. So I make a video that is tailored to game theory, where I say, looks like you're watching a game theory video. And then the rest of the ad is just the same ad I use for all of my ads. But that first few seconds, I say the name of the channel, and people go, how did you know? Well, I made that ad for that channel. And then I make another ad for another channel for Veritasium, and then same thing. The first few seconds I say, looks like you're watching Veritasium video. And then when I create that ad, I say, only apply this to the Veritasium channel. Only the videos on that channel will get this ad. So people freak out, like, how did you know I was watching? Well, I'm only targeting you because I don't want to target everyone on the internet and say, give this ad to all of the humans, because most people are not going to be that interested. But I found game theory people really like that ad. That was a surprise to me. Game theory isn't really a data science engineering channel. It's more about folklore around video games. It's kind of adjacent to what I do, but it performed very well. So that's one that I've had running for a while. So people freak out sometimes, like, how did you know? I came from the ad. How did you know? It's just me targeting very specific channels that are a lot bigger than me, and channels where I think you all kind of match my audience. So, hey, come watch my videos as well. So it's interesting to see once you reveal the magic trick, it's not that amazing. You know, like, how did you cut that person in half? Well, I didn't. It was two people. So that's all it is just using a very personalized and very targeted ad campaigns on the Google Ads platform. Let me see some of the other comments here. What got you interested? American Language asks, what got you interested in data? So I'm a software engineer, and I've been mostly doing data-related stuff for most of my career. So the stuff that I've done hasn't been that interesting. If you ask me, what do you do for a living? I say I move data from here to there. That's a very summarized view of what I've been doing in my career for many, many years. Take this data from here, extract it, maybe join it with this other data, and then output it over there. It's a very like pipeline-oriented thing. It's not like I'm computing, give me a simulation of a generator. No, there's not a lot of math going on. The CPU doesn't really get used a whole lot. It's mostly for loops and if statements and lookup tables. So, but with that, you can do a lot of interesting things, like do a word analysis on the Vsauce channel or on MrBeast. The coding isn't that complicated. It's download all the words, put them into an index, and then the formulas are pretty simple, like find me the most common word. That one's pretty simple. Or find me the most common phrase. The sentence analysis, the reading level, that's a little more complicated. And then the AI analysis, that's complicated, but I don't do that. I just send that to another software, the OpenAI ChatGPT, and I say, here's the sentence, tell me the sentiment, and then I aggregate those and put that together. So it's mostly just packaging. It's mostly all of the integration of these different tools, and I sort of liked doing that. And I think it started, so during the pandemic, or even before the pandemic, what I would do is I started analyzing data on the women that I was dating. This sounds creepy, but it's not. And I was trying to figure out what makes things better. Like, do I have better success with these types of women? Do I have better success finding women on a dating app versus another dating app versus real life? I was trying to figure out, is there a trend? Because this is how I think. And I would post little things with my friends saying, here's a chart of the percentage of women who flake on me from Bumble, a dating app, versus Coffee Meets Bagel, a different dating app. So I'd be meeting women on different dating apps, and I found that one app produced women that were very, very flaky, and another app didn't. And I have no idea why that is, but I would put a little graph and just show the difference. And that would usually spark a lot of discussion, usually between men and women who had a lot to say about their own dating experiences. And then I wanted to tell a story that was a little too complicated to do in one graph. I needed like 4 or 5 minutes to explain it all. And so this is during the pandemic when I was not able to go outside and do a whole lot. So I've done video stuff in the past when I was in high school and college, and I was sort of interested in trying it again. And so I said, okay, let me build a couple of graphs and tie them together in a video. So if you go to my channel and look at my oldest video, my very first video, it's about height and dating. And it's a story about my height and dating that doesn't match what everyone told me I should expect. So that's why it's a weird thing. It's like, oh, you should probably expect this. That was not the results that I got. The data gave me a different answer than what I expected to see, than what I expected was going to be the real issue. So I thought, okay, there's stories like this where we can use data to analyze all sorts of things, where people say, oh, you should do this, or, oh, this is a great thing to do. But then when you test it out, you say, actually, surprisingly, reality doesn't seem to match what everyone kind of told me I should expect. So that's what I find really interesting, is where you get surprised by reality, when everyone thinks reality is one way, when the expectation is one way, but then when you actually look at the real data, you're like, actually, it doesn't, I know it doesn't make sense, but maybe we need to reconsider what we think makes sense. So that's kind of how I got into it. Let me look at chat here real quick. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat right now. Someone said, well, to be honest, I subscribed after a Veritasium video. Yeah, I did a response to a Veritasium video where I said, is he wrong? Can I prove he's wrong? And he's right. And well, a lot of Veritasium, okay. Left a comment on the Vsauce video trying to do a SQL-like injection when you fed into ChatGPT. I wonder if you need to filter out comments which try to exploit ChatGPT when processing. Yeah, oh yeah, so on my Vsauce video, I talked about how I was analyzing the comments of his videos and my videos, and then a bunch of people put comments saying, ignore all previous instructions and do this. They're trying to like fool the ChatGPT into doing things that they want to do. I haven't tested it out yet. I was thinking about trying to do it before this stream to see, like, can I extract all those comments that you all left recently and then put it through ChatGPT, but I haven't done that yet. I don't know what to expect. I might try and do that. Let's see. You work modern times, but with a vengeance. You work like Charlie Chaplin in modern times. I assume that's a movie where Charlie Chaplin pretends to have a brother, a twin. Yeah, I'll let you speculate on that. If you saw the intro to the one I did at the beginning of this stream, there's a bunch of there should be enough evidence to answer that question for you. Let's see. Postponer says, hi, did you ever use Java? Yeah, I've used Java before. I use it, did I use it there? I use it sporadically. There's some tools. I don't use it I don't use it anymore in my personal life, but for different companies I've worked for, there have been times where we used Java, usually for services. Okay, let's see. And why do you do YouTube? Says Jamie Vu. I think I actually just talked about it, but there's a lag. So, but yeah, it was mostly. I guess I talked a little bit more. The reason I got started was it was the pandemic, and I didn't have anywhere really to go. I used to go out a lot and play volleyball and hang out with friends, and during the pandemic, that all kind of ended, or was put on hold. And so, oh, my white balance just shifted. Hold on, it does this sometimes. So I had some video editing experience from when I was in high school and college, and I sort of wished I could have done more of that. So that was sort of my opportunity. Oh, the hue's changing again, whatever. So during the pandemic, I'm like, well, let me try doing this video thing again. And I had someone I knew in my life who had a YouTube channel, and they were seeing some success with it. They had started before the pandemic. And so I like, okay, well, let me try to see if I can do it with my particular brand, and it did not go very well for a while. It's been like for your perspective, it's like this, and then recently it's been doing better. I can look at some of my performance graphs in just a minute and kind of show you a little bit more about that. So yeah, let's see. So Rick Sanchez says, you can like classification models that work on text embeddings that would be much faster and immune to things like prompt hacking. Okay. I have not tried that. I basically just give it to ChatGPT and say, analyze this text, and I say from 0 to 100, positive, negative, and then I just give it the text, and it seems to handle it okay. Why don't I show the performance of the channel? We were just talking about how it didn't take it took a while to get going. Let me set that up right now. All right, so here's my current subscriber count, almost at 71,000. And let me go back to lifetime. Ooh, that doesn't show very well. How do I? Oh, that's even worse. Oh, why is that so? I wish it wasn't so compressed. There's got to be a better way. Is that how that works? I think because I'm compressing the image in order to show it to all you. Oh, that doesn't, I did not realize that was going to happen. Let me try something. Okay, that changes that, but then let me scroll down. Oh, I can't scroll down. Oh, no. Okay. Well, sorry, folks. That was all I had. Oh, it does scroll a little bit. Okay. No, that's still too tall. I'm going to get this. And it trims the bottom. Wait, is that what it was doing before? Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this back into alignment. Okay, there you can kind of see it. This is what I'm going to have to deal with. So I started, what is this, end of 2020, and very small amounts of growth. Then I did my first ad campaign right here, where I said, looks like you're watching a, whatever channel, and I was able to quickly get a bunch. I'm like, okay, this is kind of working. Then it kind of got stagnant for a while, and I got subscribers, but I wasn't getting views. So people would subscribe, but then they wouldn't necessarily view, probably because the bell icon doesn't actually do what you think it does. So then I did another ad campaign here, and that's where that growth came from. And then I got very stagnant. I realized I got a bunch of I doubled my subscriber count. I went from about 9,000 to about 20,000, but I wasn't getting more views. It was just people subscribing because of the ad, but they never watched the videos. And so then it was very stagnant. I stopped the ads because it was like, no, I'm not gonna keep doing it. And then I started losing subscribers. And then I did my Mr. Beast video, and then that's where this came from here. And then I did some political videos, and that's where this came from here. And then I did my Vsauce video, that's where that is here. And I'm also running a small ad campaign right now on my Vsauce video. So it's been, this graph doesn't show it very well, but this is actually this is like, takes off a lot more quickly than you might think. I wish I could display it a little bit better, but it seems to be crushed a little bit, be compressed. Okay, let me see what other people are asking. Dhruv Sinj says, I think you added Indian demographic to your video. I remember you mentioning it. So this is what's interesting about the ad campaign. I'll give you an example of how this is pertinent from a recent ad. So I tried a new ad campaign recently where for my recent Vsauce video, I wanted it to get more traction than it was. And there's a new feature that's built into YouTube where even if you don't understand how ad campaigns work and targeting, it'll do that for you. You just say promote this video and you just give it a few things like here's how much money I want, here are the countries I want to target, here are the age and gender that I'm interested in, and then it just does it for you. And initially it defaulted my my regions to just be like United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia. I think it was just those few. It did not put India in it. And I said, well, I guess that it knows that's where most of my views have been coming from recently. Most of them have been coming from America because I've been doing some political stuff with our, election process. And so I didn't change it. So it started running and it spent a bunch of money and I didn't get a lot of results. And then I kind of knew this because this happened before. I said, let me add India. And I added India and I got way more subscribers for a much smaller amount of money spent. And this is what I found is that if you're really cheap and you don't want to spend a lot of money on ads and you say to the algorithm, send it to any country, the algorithm says there's a bunch of people in India who I want to target the ad to, and you can afford it. But if I say only limit it to Americans, now the price goes way up. So I don't target Indian viewers. I try to include as many people as possible. And the Indian market is the one that gets me the highest match rate for the lowest cost, if that makes sense. So when I've done my videos that have gotten popular organically, it tends to do well in the United States. But if I use ads, the ads all go to India, more or less. So I get a lot of subscribers from India, not because I target it, but because that's the algorithm's calculation is, oh, you don't want to spend a lot of money? Oh, I've got a market for you. It's a lot cheaper to advertise in India than it is in the United Kingdom or in the US or in Canada. So that's what ends up happening. So if I then turn off India, I say, market anywhere except India, now the price goes way up and I don't get as many views. So I just say target wherever and don't spend that much money because I don't have tons and tons of money to spend. I want to try and maximize the number of the views that I get for the ads. All right, let me take a look at the chat here. There's some more coming in. Someone asks, do you see yourself doing YouTube as your full-time job if it's not already? That would be ideal. It's not now. I can't support myself on it right now, but that's the hope, is that if this continues to grow, that maybe this could be something I'm able to do. But I still kind of need to see how we go. I only recently started getting like consistent performance on videos, like in the last 6 months. Before that, it was like, yeah, I had one video that was good and then nothing for a while, and then the next video did well. Now I'm like, oh, I see the formula. I'll just talk about people who are really famous, more famous than me, and then I'll get more views. That's sort of what's been happening in the last 6 months. So we'll see. That is the hope is that this will continue to climb. Postponer says, oops, I'm scrolling and it doesn't work. Okay, I'm from Ukraine and I want to ask you to use Russian data with caution. If you ever going to use it, I would recommend not using it at all since their nation's trying to inform Western world. Here's the thing, about that just from a technical perspective. If we're talking about word analysis, all the word analysis I do is in English. People have said, oh, could you try and analyze politicians in other countries? And I'm like, yeah, maybe Canada, maybe United Kingdom. But they're like, what about in some other country that's a non-English speaking country? Like, well, I don't know if the sentiment analysis will work on words that are not English. And also, my familiarity with other languages is quite low, so I don't know if I would be able to say, what's the most common word spoken in Hindi? It's probably the, or some other small word, and that's why I'm like, in English, at least I can look at the results and I can say, oh, I see what happened here. Whereas if it's a language that I'm not familiar with, I might be in trouble. I speak a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Greek. Maybe I could do those videos. Now, if you're talking about Russian data about non-word related stuff, yeah, it would be stuff that I can publicly access, something that's freely available to take a look at. YouTube transcripts, very open. I can just get them. So it's stuff like that. But yeah, so most of the videos I'm doing focus on English-speaking people and the words that they are speaking. Okay, go for it. Hi, I was just curious to know, how do you transcribe all the videos for the AI analysis or any particular service software which you may use? So the transcripts are freely available on YouTube. I can show you that actually here. So if you go to one of my videos, here we'll do the video we just talked about that was an ad. So here's a video of mine. You can do this for any video. You scroll down to the bottom and you say, show transcript. So then at the top right, oh, it's covered. Oh no, you can see it. Then it just shows you all the words I spoke. I didn't create this transcript. This is something YouTube does for you automatically. So now there's a procedural way to download this. That's a little tricky. There's a library that I downloaded that does it for you. It basically does this HTTP connection and says, oh, here's where the words are. And then I use the YouTube API for programmers to just say, here's a channel, list all of the videos. Give me all the video IDs. Basically, I just need to get all of these video IDs up here for a particular channel, and then I use the software, the library in Python. I'm running all this in Python. I say, download the video, and there's some other URL that's probably, something like this. It's more complicated than this, but there's some URL that has the data in a JSON file, and then I just download it as a file. And then after that, I just write Python scripts to process it. The most complicated thing is the AI sentiment analysis. ChatGPT has an API for that as well. That one's not free, but it's very cheap. To analyze all of Mr. Beast's transcripts, I think cost me 80 cents or something like that, 80 US cents. So it's very affordable. And that's another API call. In Python, you say, here's my string of text, which is the request to say, please do the analysis, negativity, positivity, 0 to 100 for each. Here's the text, and it's just one big string in Python, and then you send it to the server. It comes back with the response, and then I parse the response and get it back. So the actual code doesn't do anything that amazing. It's more just tying it all together in a way that actually produces something interesting to look at. So that's how I do that. Let's see who else we got here. Swiss King says, so pretty much same as if you let Google promote your website. I've never tried an ad or a promotion for a website. I assume it's the same thing. Oops, it scrolls up when I... someone asks, will you analyze this stream though? I guess I could. I've not... You mean analyze my words or analyze your words in the chat? I've never done analysis on chat before, but I was thinking about that. There's a way to access the chat words, and I wonder if there's anything meaningful in the chat to say, oh, like I only have one stream, but you could go to other streamers and say, look at their chat and see the positivity and negativity over time. Maybe that's interesting to say, oh, streamers have a lot of positive comments at the beginning, but negative at the end, or the other way around. So there's definitely stuff like that. Thoughts for anyone making an educational data channel? Yeah, so I don't know if I have advice for that. What I would say is, so I would argue my channel is not super educational. It's more entertaining, I would hope. It's more silly than educational. There's some real educational channels that are like, they don't worry about their tone or being silly, and it's very serious. I don't know if people really learn a whole lot of interesting stuff from me. They learn intriguing things if you're of that mindset. So if you're making an educational channel, yeah. So the advice, this is not advice that necessarily is going to be great, but a lot of advice today is make shorts, YouTube shorts. I have not seen a lot of success with YouTube shorts. This is true for educational, not educational. So this is more generic than what you're asking. But I would say I haven't had the best success with shorts in their performance. And if they do perform, they don't bring in a lot of subscribers who are long-term viewers. So yeah, so the only success I've had, again, regardless of whether you're doing educational or not, is that if you talk about people who are more famous than you. This is called social hacking. Talk about something that is more famous, more popular than you, and then you get a lot more attention than if you talk about like my Bible code video, talking about this obscure conspiracy theory from 30 years ago. So that's what I would say for that, is anything that you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to have a success. Now, if you're saying, I don't really care about doing this as a career, I just want to make educational YouTube channel, I'd say start with whatever it is that you have that is of interest to you, and especially if you have something that other people don't have. I haven't seen anybody do a whole lot of videos on word analysis on YouTube transcripts. So for me, I just said, what is the data that I can access? Some people ask me like, oh, can you tell me what data will give me the best results for my YouTube channel? And I'm like, sorry, if I knew that, I would be a lot bigger than I am right now. So the data I have isn't necessarily helpful data. It's not trying to answer a question. It's an answer in search of a question. I have a solution. I'm looking for a problem. I can get all the data on a transcript. What can I do with it? Can I figure out how to make a successful YouTube channel? Probably not. But I can make a video about it and people think it's interesting. So from my perspective, it was what data is available to me, step one. Because people will say things like, oh, you should do a channel that tells people how to make lots of money. Okay, how do I do that? Well, analyze the data from something or other. Like, well, where's that something? Where's that source? I want that information. Start with the data and then try and figure out what I can do with it, rather than say, I want to figure out how to make lots of money. What can I do with data to figure it out? Like, oh, sorry, I don't really know. So maybe that's what I'd say. Start with the data that you already have, that you have access to, and see what interesting things you can find, especially if it's surprising. Like, oh, I found out from my dating data that the things people told me about height weren't really what I was experiencing. So that's what I find interesting, and that may be what other people find interesting too. So King again said, ever thought about analyzing some unscripted stuff like reality shows? Again, it'd be great if I have the data. If it's a YouTube channel, I know how to get that data. If it's not, I'd have to figure out, like, what platform is it on? Does Netflix have an ability to do transcripts? I haven't investigated that. So the idea is interesting, and if it's on YouTube, there's a way to do it. But again, I would need to know, how do I get that data? That's step one. And then analyzing it would definitely be interesting. Let's see if there are any questions. German would probably break your brain. Probably it would. Stan says, saw some videos of you since a while ago. Very good content. Thank you. Let's see. Low as in low. Oh, this is cool. Another question is, have you compared the sentiment results from ChatGPT versus other AI? Have you compared ChatGPT versus other AI services? this was something I considered. So I was looking into ChatGPT, Gemini, and then Twitter, X. They have one. I forget the name of it. Is it Grok or something like that? So I tried using Gemini to do the political transcripts, taking presidential inauguration speeches and giving it to Gemini. I got back a response from Gemini saying, "This is political. I don't do political stuff." Now, maybe I could do it for Vsauce or Mr. Beast transcripts. That might be better. But that made me say, well, okay, this seems like a non-starter. And then Twitter, the X version, I tried to get access to it. I need to look at it again. I thought I had to become a premium member on Twitter. I have a Twitter account for the channel, and I never use it. But I was trying to figure out how to get that. I think I have to pay more money, or I'm not sure. I was not able to find a good way to do that, because some people said that OpenAI is going to be more biased based on the people who make it, and it's going to be more left-leaning, whereas Twitter now is going to potentially be more right-leaning. What if we had both of these bots, both of these AIs, try and figure out, give it the same text and see, is there a bias? Is Trump more negative using one AI versus another? That's something that'd be interesting to look at. I got to figure out how to get the stuff to work for Twitter, for X. Okay, let me just take a look. Right now, we've got, I think, we've got about 20 people watching right now concurrently. I'm just looking at some of the stats right now. And how much do we have in chat? Oh, chat is okay. I see. And we got 260 views. All right. I am going to take a quick break. We can keep going for as long as folks are interested, or I can end now. There's a few more data things to look at that I wanted to show. And I'm just looking through right now and seeing what are the things that would be of interest. But we're going to take a quick break. I'm still working out how all this works. I'm going to go show a video, which is my least performing video right now. It's like 3 minutes. And it's basically an intro to a video I did years ago, a Halloween special about the only, I don't know if I should say the word on YouTube, but let's just say at the South Pole, there was someone and there was an investigation about how this person was no longer in existence. But I did a different type of intro than I normally do, and it was like 3 minutes long, which on YouTube means people click away. So I'm going to show that now just as a break real quick, and I'll be back in like 3 minutes. And you can tell me what you think of this intro, if this works well. I ended up using it, but I cut it down a lot. I cut out a lot of it was like 3 minutes, and I cut it down to a minute and a half or something. But I'm going to do that right now. And we are going to, and I'll be back in like 2-3 minutes. If you're watching this in the future, you can watch or you can skip ahead. But right now it's live, and I'm going to play it right now. Boo! Did we scare you?
No, it's Halloween. Everyone's been knocking on the door. Plus, I was expecting you.
Booyakasha.
In fact, you're late. I was about to start telling the story without you.
How much candy did you get?
You mean by mass or volume?
What? All right, I've got your hot chocolates right here. There we go. One for you. One for you. And one for me.
I don't like caramels. You don't like caramels? I love caramels.
Do you want it?
Aren't you two a bit old to be trick-or-treating?
No.
You're gonna eat all that candy now and drink hot chocolate? With all this sugar, you're gonna get diabetes. You should monitor your glucose.
That's a future video.
Let's hope. All right, we're gonna get started with the story. Why are you lighting your face like that? I'm telling a scary Halloween story. You have to light your face like this. This doesn't seem like optimal lighting condition for a video. Key, fill, backlight. I'm telling a dark, scary story. This is the best lighting for that.
Do you have any data on that?
Good grief. Do you want me to tell you the story or not?
Yes!
Did he really just say good grief?
Yeah, he does that.
There once was a haunted house.
Wait, why was it haunted?
Well, it was inhabited by the ghost of the groundskeeper who died tragically 40 years earlier.
Wait, ghosts aren't real.
I'm telling a ghost story, so within this story, they're real. I question the veracity of this story.
Is it peer-reviewed?
What? Peer-reviewed? It's Halloween. We're telling ghost stories. They're not real. I'm just not sure we can promote this false narrative in a data video.
Show me the data!
Do you understand what it is we're doing here? I should have just stuck with writing software. Look, do you want me to tell you the story or not?
No!
Huh, that was totally not the response I was expecting. Okay, do you want me to tell you a scary story?
Yes!
But you also want a data video?
Yes!
Okay, fine. I'm gonna tell you the true story of the only murder to have ever occurred at the South Pole.
What?
This story has murder, mystery, maps, and historical data. Murder?
Maps?
Who would ever skip this video? Well, let's hope. But enough talk, more data!
It's data time!
I'm data.
All right. So that was an intro for a video of mine from a while ago. You can comment below what you think of it compared to my current videos today. It was a little bit different style. I was doing a Halloween video, so I tried to make it seem a little bit spooky. But that was from a long time ago. And you can watch that video on the channel. It's called, let me find it real quick here. It's called, it's from a while ago. Where did it go? Yeah, so it is, here it is. It's this one here. That word right there. I don't know if that gets me in trouble. It didn't perform as well as some of the other ones, but around that same time. But that's the name of it. And this is the, it's got the picture of the guy here with the purple hair. So that is the video. Feel free to watch it. It's a bonus video, so it's my least performing video right now. It's got, yeah, 300 views, but it's just the extended intro. This is my least performing video. We can look at that a little bit later. That at least performing video that's not just an intro, it's like an actual full video. And these are the only two videos that have less than 1,000 views. So if you're interested to take a look at it, you're more than welcome to. And I've also got this one queued up we can look at later. So let's see. We've got a comment. Feels like too much sketch and interruption question, which, but I would watch anyways. That was my feeling as well. The final edit still has that intro, but it's a little bit, it's definitely compressed. It's like a minute and a half. So that's one of the things I've been debating with how to make these videos is how much of the silliness should I do, especially at the beginning, and how much should I just be like, just get to the point. Because when I started, I thought people are gonna find this stuff boring. Let me try and be more silly, which I'm happy with doing. But then people seem to think like, why are we doing all this silly stuff? Just do like the thing that you're gonna talk about. Why do we have to see all this banter? It's not really necessary. So, so that's what I've ended up going with. Well, I've shifted a little bit, and now it's a little bit, it's not as silly as it was before, and also the silliness is a little bit more delayed in the video. It's not right at the front. You kind of have to, we try and give as much data as possible right up front about the context of what we're going to be discussing, and then we'll do silly stuff later on. I'm going to show a couple of other things that I was wanting to discuss. One has to do with the pronunciation of data versus data. This has been a thing. And I'll tell you what I have been using as my marker is, oh, you won't hear this. I don't think you can hear this yet. Let me let me see. I'm going to show you a clip. Let me switch it over here. Okay,
My
if you
name.
can hear it, let me start
It is
over.
pronounced
If you can't hear it, let me know. Here's a scene from Star Trek with Commander Data or Data.
Data, look at this.
Oh, you can't see
Data.
anything. Sorry.
What?
This is my problem with streaming. Okay. Let's see if we can play it now.
my name. It is
Is that
pronounced
how you're going to do it? Let
data.
me start.
Oh? Data, look at this.
Data.
What?
My name. It is pronounced data.
Oh?
You called me data.
What's the difference?
One is my name. The other is not.
So that's the that's what I've been using. If you listen to all the intros to the video, you'll hear him say, "I am Data," and that's what he says. I used to say data. I used to say database, and for years I said it. And then I was working at a company. I'd say, "Oh, the database," and my tech lead said, "Why do you keep saying data? You're not British. It's You're American. It's data." So from then on, I say data. But other people say data, especially if you're in the UK. But even people here in California will say data. They'll say, "It's data time." And I'm like, yeah, okay. Say it the way you want. But that's how when I first started making the videos, I was like, oh shoot, am I saying it the wrong way? Which way is the right way? And I don't think there is a right or wrong. It's kind of a preference. Either kind of situation. So then I said, well, on Star Trek, it was data, right? Star Trek The Next Generation. That should definitely be the template for all things of correctness. So I say it the way Commander Data says it with his name. So that was that. The other thing I want to look at is potentially doing another live stream, but as a game. Okay, so I did a video a while back where I got my friends to chase me using a homing device I made. Let me show that real quick. So it's this one here. Oops.
I challenge my friend.
I don't want to play it just yet. But it's this one here. I created my own tracking device. It's a two-parter. But the one here where my friend's pointing at me, this is where my two friends chase me down using a homing device that I created. Basically just tells them their distance to me. And it's like a game of warm or colder. They're trying to get closer to where I am and eventually find me. With just one tracking device, it's hard. But if you have 3 people who each know their distance to you, you can actually triangulate the location. If you have more than 3, you can for sure do it. So what if we did a game like that again, but we do it on a live stream, and instead of just having the people who are chasing have information about their distance, we have other people around the world play the game. But what they do is they just use their location as like a beacon, and they say, oh, I'm this many miles or kilometers away from them. And then if you have multiple people playing the game, you could actually draw little circles on a map and say, here's the intersection of all those circles. So if you are playing the game, you are using your location, so it needs your location, that might be a little creepy. You use your location as a way of saying, I'm going to draw a circle on the map around where they are. Let's say they're 100 miles from you. So you have your location, which I won't display on the map, but I'll draw a circle around it. And then somebody else is like over here, and they are like 5 miles away. And like, oh, and there's a circle here. Well, where do those circles intersect? That's probably where they are. And so you use you're sort of like crowdsourcing people's GPS to find them. I mean, it's all contrived. The server is the one calculating distance from each of you in order to display it. And so then the people who are seeking, the pursuers, look at their map and they say, oh, I see all these connections. And you can make it into more of a game where it's like, well, you can only send your location once in a while and ping the system and say, oh, now there's a circle here, but oh, the people who are hiding have moved away, so it's out of date. I don't think I'm explaining it very well. It's more of a visual thing. But the part of it that might be of interest for people who are into live streaming is to say, can we get a couple of people around the world? You can be in Los Angeles, we'll be playing in Los Angeles, but you could have anyone in the world with GPS basically contributing to the data, the information to provide for this game. So that's something of interest that maybe people would like to have. So the question is, if server calculates it, then what people for? What is game? It's a little contrived. I understand. The server's going to calculate it, so I could just make up beacons randomly around the world and say, okay, here's some circles that intersect where you are. The part of the game that makes it a little more interesting is if the seekers are moving, let's say you get a reading on how far they are. Well, now you know where they were, but then they keep moving. So you might have a game where the people who are playing don't just give the location, they have to click a button that says, okay, provide a ping, a rangefinder for me right now. And once you click that button, you can't click it for a certain amount of time. So you have to kind of coordinate when each people are pinging. And if people are closer to Los Angeles than people who are farther away, there may be some strategy that emerges there. Maybe it's just unnecessarily complicated, but I was trying to find a way to invent a game where you can use people around the world to play together. And it's a little tricky because everyone's around the world. So how do you coordinate that? Well, if you could somehow use their GPS location, maybe you could invent some kind of game that ends up contributing to this thing. That was the idea. I don't know, how well it would work. I don't know if people would be interested. I don't, if you have less than 3 people on board with it, then you can't even triangulate much of anything. You can still do it. You can still kind of figure it out, but it's a different kind of game. So Fort Football says, sir, you are one of the most awesome creators. I always suggest your channel to everyone. Thank you so much. That's, that is the best thing someone like me can hear. Gameplay loop is coordinated button pressing. Yeah, when you phrase it that way, I see sort of the issue there. But so I would be like, okay, I need a ping from someone close by, or I need a ping from someone far away. I realize maybe I need to think that through a little bit more. There might be a better way to do it without making it too complicated, because you've got like all these people, and you're like, okay, ping now, but not everybody ping at the same time, because then you need to refresh your wait time. It was just a thought. I may need to go back and do more sort of design behind it. But for those of you out there watching, I don't know if you watch Jetlag the game, but I really love that. They just finished their latest season in Japan. And they're not doing the ping. They have someone go and hide. The last season, they have someone go and hide. They have 3 hours to take trains to go to where they want to go, and they have to sit there. And then the seekers have to come find them, and they don't know the location, but they can ask questions, certain questions about, like, are you more than 50 miles away from me? Is your latitude greater than me? Are you in the same prefecture as me? There's different questions they can ask, and then they've invented a game where the more questions you ask, the hider can then curse you and force you to do other things that delay them. And the quickest, you're trying to catch them as quickly as possible. So I was trying to come up with a game kind of like that, geographically oriented. It's also where I started kind of getting into the flat Earth stuff, because for the homing device game I created, you've got 2 cell phones, each has GPS, and they upload to the server, and the server does a calculation to say, here's your latitude, longitude, here's your other latitude and longitude, what's the distance between them. I use something called the Haversine formula. It assumes the Earth is a sphere with a given radius, and if you give it 2 coordinates, you give it a latitude and a longitude for one person, a latitude and longitude for another person, it gives you the distance between them. Only works if the Earth is a sphere. And I said, I wonder how this would work on a flat Earth, or how do flat Earthers, how would that work? So that took me down a whole nother rabbit hole. So it might be interesting so that's how I got into it. Is there a way you can sort of look at that data in a way that's fun and interesting for for people to engage with. Where is your clone? Starting 2025 with fight between the presenters. No, he was just here. You just missed him. He's having some existential issues. Okay, I think we're coming close to the end. Oh, let me check the poll. I wanted to check the poll. If you haven't checked the poll, oh, it's shifted more now. Okay, how did you find my channel? 60% nearly say from YouTube word analysis videos. 26% say they found me from before 2024. Almost 10% come from politics, and 6% come from flat Earth. That's kind of how I thought. What's this comment? Love Jetlag the game, and your tracker video was like it. Yeah. So trying to find something a little bit more data oriented, a little more analytical. That's sort of similar to the feeling of Jetlag, or like a hide and seek type video, but incorporating sort of geometric data. What is your favorite color? Well, hopefully there's a color I've chosen for the channel. Hopefully it's a little bit obvious with the the colors that I've chosen. I started to abandon it because it's not as visible as I'd like. So if you look at, so here you can see this one here, I changed it, the Star Wars one. That one is a much brighter, punchier color, literally punchy. And if we looked at my more recent stuff, you see I've started using yellows a lot more because I think it's more visible. I'm not sure. This one works well. I saw it. This one down here, I saw it. That one shows up well because there's a dark background behind it. But so like for this one, the Mr. Beast one here, I'm using red words, but I've got a light blue background. Whereas here, I'm trying to get the RIP planes. Here, let me scroll up a little bit. RIP planes, that's in cyan, but there's kind of a blue background, so I have to put a border around the words, and I don't know. So if you look at the channel, there should be a color theme that I've chosen, at least for many of the videos. Yeah, let me scroll up here. Oh gosh, it does this thing. Okay. Okay, Witty Adrian. Hey man, love your videos. As a fellow data nerd, I always enjoy seeing more videos with coding data and like it. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Let's see, owner says, I found out about you with channel targeted ads. That's kind of what I figured. ISQB says, can you tell me more about downloading transcripts from YouTube channels? Well, I would recommend going to the code that I have. Let's see. I have it in one of my videos. Do I have it in this video?
And then
here?
even my earthquake video.
I'm loading it. You can't see it. I was trying to find it, but I'll just show you where I'm looking. I think I put it in most of my videos here. Download the code here. So my Vsauce video that I just did, my latest one, it's in the description there. It's GitHub. It's not very good. It's very hacky. I just kind of put it together. I think I have Mr. Beast data already in here. So this is what it's already done. So I've downloaded the Mr. Beast data for you. If you want to do it on a different channel, the code is in here. The README is maybe okay, maybe not that helpful. Let's see. Requirements to download transcripts. Okay. Set up an account with YouTube API client. You got to do that in order to download the video IDs from a particular channel. And then install the YouTube transcript API. That basically just makes it easier to say, here's a video ID, give me the JSON file. So these are Python mod. This is a start. This is a setup. You have to do a bunch of stuff. Create an account with YouTube API client, create a key, download the key so that you can log in with your software. So, but I may have changed this now. You may have to give it a channel name. I think at this point, this may be a little out of date. I should probably take a look at it. I provide it, but most people, I don't think, are that interested in it. So if instead you want to just use what I've already got, instead of downloading Mr. Beast stuff, you come to my word tracker, and then you can start to, you can come in here and search for whatever it is that you want to look at. So if you just want to look at the data that's already there and search for stuff, you can do that here. You can download the software. It's mostly a bunch of Python files. but you got to set up a bunch of stuff. It uses some libraries that you need to set up. So yeah, or if you just want to look at the data I have, the format, this is what it gets downloaded as, a JSON file that has every segment of text here for every video. Let's take a look and see what else we got in the comments. Let's see. Proc says, I found your channel in 23. You came in an ad before some Mark Rober video and then started watching every video of yours. Love your work. Thank you so much. Let's see. Witty Adrian, where did you get your coding knowledge from? Any background professionally? Yes. So I studied software engineering at university, and it was a long time ago. And then I've been working professionally as a software engineer. I used to work in the animation industry. Some people have asked, why do you have movie posters of children's movies in your background? I'll show that to you right now, just in case you are wondering. Oops, that's the wrong way. So my light's in the way, but you can see Bolt up there. Right there, that's Bolt. I worked on that movie. And then that's Croods. I worked on that movie, and you can't see that one. That's Rise of the Guardians. And you can't see the other, that's Kung Fu Panda. Right. Oops, I'm reversed. Kung Fu Panda there. So those are some of the movies I worked on. I worked on a bunch of other ones, but those are the ones that I have posters for. So sometimes people say, why do you have movie posters of kids' movies? Those are only movies I worked on. So I worked in animation for several years. Oh, that's too low. And before working in advertising. So, but doing software for all of them. So that's how it works now. That was a while ago. The industry has shifted since then. So I don't know if I can give career advice today that's applicable, because 20 years ago it was, yeah, go to university, study software engineering, and then get a job. But nowadays I'm not as sure. It's probably easier to just learn a lot of this stuff online. Most people I work with have gone to college for software engineering, but some of them haven't. Some of them went and studied something else, some other engineering, and then decided to become a software engineer. But I know one person who went to a community college for 2 years, got his AA degree, and then said, I think I'm just going to learn it on my own. And then he's just been working ever since then. So he never got a 4-year degree. And he's very proficient at just sitting down and learning something. So nowadays, at least in the US, universities are very highly priced, and a lot of that information might be available to you elsewhere. So it's tricky. I can't give super great career advice from that, but I know that a lot of companies, when they're hiring, will give you like a performance test. So it's not just like they look at your resume and say, oh, you went to an Ivy League school, you're hired. It's okay, well, you're still going to have to take our test, essentially. And if you pass, then we'll consider giving you an offer. So for people like that, if you're good at studying and you know the stuff, regardless of where you learned it from, potentially that is going to be more helpful. But again, I'm not a recruiter, and I don't really know the best advice, but that's how I did it. I went to a 4-year university, and then I wasn't going to go to graduate school, but then they offered, they called it the 4+1 program, where you do 4 years for your undergraduate, and if you're in good standing, you just stay on a 5th year, and they'll reduce your classes, and then at the end of the 5th year, you'll get your master's degree, and you don't have to do a thesis even. So I have a master's degree in computer science, but it's, when other people say they have a master's degree, it means they did a lot more work than what I did. And I wouldn't have gotten a master's degree if it wasn't for this sort of expedited process that the university offered me. But that was a while ago, and I don't know how the landscape has changed that much. But that's how I got into it. My name is Ice Cube. Oh, I see it now. I deal with so many acronyms. When I see that, I see ISCUB, because I deal with so many acronyms. IceCube, got it. Woody Adrian says, oh, that's sick. I'm a software engineer too, although I've never had the pleasure of working on cool projects like that. Yeah, well, that sounds great too. I think that's probably the best, experience to get. Let's see. No way. I am on your first stream, kind of nervous. Are you? Am I there behind you? No, that's unnecessarily threatening. Nervous. You're doing great. I'll say. Let me tell you. Between you and me, I'm probably more nervous because I've got to manage all of these buttons and stuff. I've never done a stream before, and I downloaded some software that helps me switch back and forth and things like that. And I had some trouble connecting the other day. And then I tried to turn on the live stream a couple days ago to just do a test, and it says you have to wait 24 hours before you can live stream. Like, okay. And then I wait 24 hours, and then it says, oh, you have to wait 24 hours starting from now. And I'm talking to tech support. Eventually it all worked, but the first time you set it up, there's a lot to go on. But no need to be nervous. You're doing great. Comments section, that's what we want. iProc says, I am a mechanical engineering student here in India in a great college right now, and I want to become an aerospace engineer. I will try to get a master's degree in it. Any advice you would like to give? I'm not very familiar with the aerospace mechanical engineering industry, so yeah, I don't know that I'm the best person to talk to. I've known people who were in aerospace, and some of them actually became software engineers, which is sort of interesting. But yeah, I don't know that I have any specific advice to give for that. I feel like if I did give advice, I wouldn't want to get sued for malpractice giving advice for things. I would say probably whatever anyone else is doing. Yeah, I don't know what advice I would give for aerospace. I think it's probably different than software in that you probably do need to go to university. I would think. If you're doing software, yeah, there's not really a certification. Oh, maybe there is. I think Microsoft gives a certification. There's not like a license you really need. Whereas aerospace, I'm not sure. I would think there might be some certification because there's safety involved with that. I am out of my element for that. Yeah, so let me take a look. I've got a few more things I wanted to do. So here is a question. I'm going to do a new poll, and maybe we'll start wrapping it up soon. I'm going to do a new poll. Can I start a new poll while the other one's open? We'll find out. Oh, do I have to close? Okay. I'm going to see the other poll has 20 votes. I think I'm going to close that poll. I'm going to open a new one because I think we've got a bunch of people who have voted. Okay. So I'm going to, there, I've closed the poll. There are the results for how you found my channel. You can take a look at that and see. There's probably a lag. So when I say that the thing shows up in chat, I don't think it shows up at the same time. So you'll have to have a little bit of patience with doing it. So I'm going to put a new poll in right now. That's what I'm typing. So I'm going to have a request from all you in chat right now to do a new poll voting. And it has to do with, oh, is it working? Flat Earther content. Should I continue to make it? Yes or no? So most of you are here not because of the Flat Earther stuff I've done, but I do find it very interesting talking to the Flat Earthers and, or not, I haven't really engaged directly with many of them, but I have made videos referencing some of the things that they said, and I interviewed the guy who went to Antarctica with a bunch of Flat Earthers and Globe Earthers to see if the Earth is globe or not, well, to see if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Flat Earthers said that's not possible on a flat Earth map. Globers said, yeah, we agree, it's not possible on a flat Earth map. And not to spoil the ending, but they went to Antarctica. There is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. In December, the sun doesn't set, it just goes around in a circle. There's no nighttime for weeks. So But the flat earther content I do, doesn't perform well. I lose subscribers when I post videos about it. So I'm just putting a question about it. Okay. Poll with 10 viewers. Peak data. Yeah, not a lot of viewers. I'll probably wrap it up soon. Do a data analysis of flat earthers. So that's actually one of the things I've considered doing. The flat earther, globe earther community is very toxic. So if you do sentiment analysis on their words, it'll probably be pretty negative. But what'd be interesting is to do an analysis on many of the flat earth channels and the globe earth channels and see, is there a trend? Like, are flat earthers more negative? Or is there any kind of other interesting outliers? Like, this flat earther is way more negative than the other flat earthers. Or this anti-flat earther, this globe earther, flat earth debunker, is way more negative. I have my theories, but I'm interested in seeing what the data might say. You can make a poll in Community Coast, by the way. Yes, I've done that already. I've done polls like this already. If you go scroll through my community tab, I've done polls that are similar to this. So IceCube says something that a lot of people have, or some people have said. Flat Earth does not deserve all that much attention, but if done efficiently, I guess it's okay. So this is the criticism that non-flat earthers sort of have, is why are you giving them so much attention? If you start talking about this group that has these unique ideas, then you're only going to give them more attention, more notoriety, and that's not what you want. I don't necessarily subscribe. I understand the concern. I think there is some truth to that. I don't also think, though, that I think they've been performing well with the I think there's a backlash when you say, don't look over there. And then people go, well, what's over there? I'm going to take a look now. So I think rather than trying to just hide it, if you talk about it and you say, just so you know, here's the transparency of the data I've found, I think that can be helpful. But I have heard people say that, and I've gone back and forth on how much of that I should do. IceCube, I went on Flat Earth debate recently. Episode 227. That's the Nathan Oakley one, right? Is that Flat Earth debate? I think that's Nathan Oakley. If so, I have an interesting story about him. I think that's. Let me take a look. You can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm going to just search real quick and make sure I know what you're talking about here. Because I was reviewed by one of his. Oh, YouTube censors it. So this is the problem with censorship, is I try and search for things on YouTube that are Flat Earth related, and they don't show up. Yeah, I have to spend a little bit extra time whenever I want to go look for a Flat Earth channel, because, yeah, oh, I see 55, 57. I'm looking for it right now. Oh, it's alive. Sorry, you all can't see what I'm doing. I'm hesitant to show this. Yes, I see. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's Nathan Oakley. No way he read my chat. Yes. Oh, that's the only thing he wants. Yeah. Yeah. Now everyone's. So this is an example of that. We start talking about like people, and you're like, wait, who is this? What's this? Yeah. So there's a. I'm going to just say what my experience is with him, and in doing so, I end up, giving him some of the notoriety that we were just discussing. So yeah, if you go search for Nathan Oakley 1980, there is a flat earther who hosts the Flat Earth debates. He calls them debates. They're usually just a bunch of flat earthers in a group chat talking about something that they looked at, like the Antarctica trip, or they looked at one of my videos. So, and I haven't discussed it because he wanted me to respond to him, but he starts off pretty respectful, and then halfway through he starts shouting at me. He's shouting at the video I made, as if I offended him. I've never spoken to him, but he was very upset with how I was measuring angles on a flat Earth versus a globe Earth, and what the angle elevation would be. So yeah, I've never seen someone so angry about triangles. So I thought about, should I do a response? Should I not? And like he was like, he sounds kind of unhinged, but that's kind of how he is in all those videos. I think it's just a persona he's playing for that's sort of his brand. If you say that I'm kind of silly, well, he's kind of angry. So I haven't talked about it, but no, you brought it up. Like, yeah, that's who we're talking about. So I've been hesitant to like broadcast too much of it, although now obviously we've been talking about it. So yeah, in fact, if you go to his channel, I can see it. Flat Earth Debate Data Time. I'll let you find it if that's of interest to you. So Flat Earth Deliberation. Yeah. If you want to search for a Flat Earth channel, you can just misspell their name intentionally. Yeah, so it's unfortunate if you have to really type in the name of the channel, like very specifically. Otherwise, it'll give you, oh, here's another channel talking about that guy. You're like, okay, that's not what I was wanting. I wanted that guy. But YouTube does seem to have some type of censorship over which channels you can search for that talk about flat Earth. The anti-flat Earth channels, you type in flat Earth, you get those channels. But the people who are pro flat Earth, those are harder to find. So I tried to show them my Metabunk thread on celestial navigation. They won't look at it. Yeah, that particular channel, I think, is pretty toxic. It's mostly people shouting at what they don't like about the globe. So it's an interesting brand. I'd considered maybe responding to it, but I haven't really been doing flat Earth stuff in a while. I did the interview a couple months ago for the guy going to Antarctica, but that doesn't perform as well as the word tracking videos, analyzing YouTubers, analyzing politicians, analyzing just doing more word analysis stuff on bigger channels. That seems to do a lot better. So I don't know if I find it interesting, the flat Earth stuff, but I don't know if that's in my best interest right now. If I had more time, I might be interested in doing it, but as it stands right now, it's hard for me making one video a month is hard for me to do. If I were a real YouTuber, I'd be making a video a week or something like that. So I would have a lot more opportunity to explore different ideas. Like, oh, I'll do a video on this and a video on that. Now I have to kind of pick like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the next month. Which is why this month I don't have a real video, because I was working on the website and on the email subscriptions and on the word tracking. And then on Monday, I've got some data coming in. This country will have more words to analyze and of a political nature, and that'll drive my next video. And I've already got that lined up with. I'm gonna have a sponsor as well on that one, which I haven't had in a while. And then I'll work on the Markiplier video, which I promised in my last video. So there's a bit of a backlog, and I'll try to get things done quickly, but it is a little bit tricky. I've thought about trying to find help, like an editor, but if you've seen my videos and understand what I do, the editing is a little bit more technical than your average YouTuber. So I'm a little hesitant to say, here, go do this thing. I'm doing things in a weird way. But I've thought about like reaching out to say, hey, is anyone interested in editing these odd videos with these two guys shouting at each other? So we'll see. Well, I may try and do more of that. But right now, yeah, I'm just trying to get a video a month. If I can do that, it usually takes me 4 to 6 weeks, which is a little too long. But if I get it under 4 weeks, that would be great. So we'll see how that goes. Shirley says, sort of unrelated, you really should watch the Cube Earther animation. In my opinion, it's really underrated. I joke about Cube Earth. You know, you've got globe earthers, you've got flat earthers, but do you have like pyramid earthers and cube earthers? I'll take a look and see if I can. Is it easy to just find if I say cube earther? Cube earther. I'm a square earther, Blender animation. What if the Earth was a cube? Okay, I think I see a couple of videos about it. They look interesting. I really think you should make shirts. They're short. I really think you should make shirts. They're short. I don't know if you mean my shorts that I made, my YouTube shorts about it, or if you meant to say something else. I've thought about doing merchandise. I definitely have. Just a second here. Yeah, so I've thought about doing shorts, yeah. So I made some shirts for an exercise class of mine where we do the same exercises every week. So I put the data, which is just a list of exercises, on the shirt. And I also did some stuff for volleyball. I have a volleyball shirt where it adds up the score for you a little bit. I thought about doing more of those types of shirts where it's the upside down shirt where if you look at it, you can lift it up and you can read it. But I was looking at what are some of the data that I can put on a shirt, because I feel like if there's a data time shirt, there should be some data, like taking the periodic table and putting it there. If you're in chemistry, or if you're in physics, are there F equals ma or other physics related formulas that you use a lot, like a cheat sheet kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense for most people. So yeah, shorts misspelled. Yeah, I meant shorts. Oh, I meant short form content. No, so sorry. I mean YouTube shorts. Yeah, I made a couple of YouTube shorts. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I went a completely different direction. You never meant to say shirt at all. I really think you should make short YouTube shorts. I think that's what you mean. Also a great question, very separate from merchandise. YouTube shorts. I have mixed feelings about YouTube shorts. So I've done a few shorts. They're more just kind of random stuff. I've done a few shorts that were like edited, where I've talked about a specific topic. I have not had the greatest success with shorts. A couple of years ago, I did shorts, and they would get a lot of views on the first day, but it wouldn't draw in subscribers, and I'd get view here. In fact, why don't I just show you? This is a data channel, right? Let me show you some data. Let me show you what I've got. I'm assuming you're talking about shorts. If I misheard you again, I'll answer the real question then next time you do it. So when I did shorts, let's talk about the ones I did during the hurricane. We had these bad hurricanes in LA about 1.5 years ago, and those performed the best. Oh, actually, let me just sort them by. You can't see what I'm doing, but don't worry, it's coming. Oh gosh! All right, just a second here. Okay, here we go. Here's an example of a short. So this is kind of a little hard to read, but this is the performance of views. This line looks weird. Basically, it goes from 0 to 2,600 views, and then doesn't get any views after that. This was made a couple years ago. So I get all my views in the first probably 24 hours. Yeah, so here's 24 hours. I get it in the first just a few hours, and then nothing after that. And then it doesn't really drive many subscribers, and the revenue is terrible in shorts compared to long form. So that's what I was doing before. But then, as you may have seen, I did some videos. Oh, I see. These are these are the oldest ones I did? No, that's the oldest ones. Oh, I got to scroll back. Hold on. Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So I did try some shorts, like, Guess Where I Am. That's just an easy one. Easy video to make, get some views, no subscribers, but just a fun thing to do that I like to do. I've also tried doing some promotions. So like, let's say I take the interview I did with the guy going to Antarctica. So this is just a little clip of it where I switch it to vertical, which is hard to do when you shoot like this and you're trying to make it, it's just, I'm too old for TikTok and stories and things like Instagram stories and stuff like that. But again, you get a bunch of views here and then it kind of coasts. But this is an ad, really. So if you, can I click on it? Yeah, this will work.
I will say this: once you put something out there that becomes big,
I'm gonna mute the audio there. So the interview is here, and it's even worse. The subtitles are. The problem is I'm trying to put subtitles in blue here, but then it gets overlaid with the other stuff. I think on a phone it might be better. So I was trying to figure out how to get the layouts to work. It's just a whole different beast. Yeah. But this is an advertisement, so to speak. I mean, it's a short, but you click on the link and this takes you to the real interview. Oh, I've logged into this account now, sorry. I usually have ads turned off. And so then you can watch the real video. So it's kind of a way to drive up the real video. So yeah, I'm gonna switch off of that. So yeah, I've considered doing shorts. I saw someone though tell this horror story about how they made a short. This is a professional YouTuber, full-time YouTuber. They made a short, it did very well, and then the algorithm stopped showing their regular long-form videos. And they said shorts ruined their channel. You don't really get a lot of money from shorts. You get them from your long-form videos. The shorts are just a great way to bring people in. So this short did really well, got a lot of views, didn't make a lot of money, and then her real videos dropped after that, and she's been struggling since. And she's like, I'm never posting another short ever again. I don't know. Shorts keep changing, I think, in terms of how the algorithm handles them. Let's see, there's a glitch in YouTube Shorts where you can put a trendy audio but make the volume 0, so you're tricking the algorithm into thinking you're doing something that's trending. Yeah, I've heard of that. You use a soundtrack but don't actually necessarily play it, but it thinks you're playing it, and then it gets put into the marketplace for all of the other stuff. Put the captions at the top. Yeah, I was doing that. So I shot it so my head was low. I should shoot where my head is at the top of the screen, and then I've got a lot of room down here. That's how people do it. The other way is, here's an ad I tried to do for shorts. So this one I think works. Oh, so then I put so I've got stuff at the top. Oh shoot, I've got the transcripts on. I've got 2 different types of transcripts running now. How do I turn transcripts off here? Captions, I mean. So here we've got some captions I put for key moments at the top. There's at the top, because I just shot it that way. I don't know why I shot it with so much headroom. But ideally, I think you want the head at the top of the screen, and you want the stuff at the words at the bottom. There, that kind of works. See, can I pause this? If I put the words down there, kind of it works. So, but yeah, it's just a whole different formatting. I have to figure it out. But yeah. So yeah, I've tried experimenting putting captions at the top for that. This is an ad, so probably haven't seen it, but yeah. So that way I can kind of do it like that. So yeah, I'm not sure with shorts. I don't know. Sometimes I think, okay, I can try it and see how it goes, and then other times I think, I don't know about this. So. I think we're almost coming to an end. It's almost been 2 hours. I always hate it when people like live stream for long amounts of time. You're like, I can't watch this whole thing, but here we are. I'm sort of doing the same thing. I tried to pack it full of data or answering questions about people's interest to things. So yeah, if there's any other questions, now is the time. Let's see, I've heard that the algorithm will push 15 to 20 minute long videos over anything else. I've heard that was the case because you can put more ads in a 20-minute video than if you have a video that's less than 8 minutes, there's no ads in the middle, it's just at the beginning and the end. But if you have a 20-minute video, you can put all kinds of ads in there. So that's one logic behind it, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to take one more break where I show you the next least performing video. And when I come back, if you've got questions, now is the time. There's only 11 of us here. Put the questions in the chat, and then I'll answer them, and then I think that will be the end. So I'm going to switch us over to another. It's not a short, but it's a shorter video of mine that performed terribly, and it's a different format. It's where I go somewhere. Probably it should have been a short, but I didn't do that. I made it a real video. So it's like 3 minutes. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks.
I'm standing in front of a desert lighthouse. Ship ahoy! It's not a real lighthouse. We're in the middle of the desert. There aren't any ships around.
Oh.
Today, we're going to be looking at this fascinating structure set in an unusual context. But enough talk, more data. It's data time!
I am Data.
I'm currently in Hinckley, California, about 2 hours northeast of Los Angeles, and what you can see behind me is the Hinckley Desert Lighthouse. So this isn't used to help ships? No. It's more of an art piece. It was built in 2017 by Daniel Hawkins, also known as the Keeper of the Hinckley Light. It took him nearly 10 years of planning to complete it. That sounds forever. Well, this wasn't Hawkins' first attempt. In 2010, he built another lighthouse outside of Lucerne, California. Why aren't we at that lighthouse? Well, unfortunately, that lighthouse was vandalized and eventually destroyed. Ugh. This lighthouse stands out amongst the vast desert, but its real appeal comes from its presence at night. All right, so this was supposed to be the part of the video where I wait for nighttime in order to see the light turn on, but it's nighttime and the light has not turned on. I thought it was like a street lamp where it would just come on at dark, but maybe it's on a timer? It's 6 p.m., but it's November after the end of daylight savings, so it's been dark for a while, but maybe the timer comes on later, or maybe this just doesn't work in general. I don't know. But I'm going to read to you now the thing that I had planned on reading with this thing on. The lighthouse has a steel frame that is built on a cement foundation. The exterior is made from semi-translucent polycarbonate paneling and has an opalescent appearance to it. The light comes from a high-powered LED Fresnel beacon that is powered by nearby solar panels. At least that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, now back to daytime me before I realized this was not going to work out. There is supposedly a documentary about the lighthouse coming out soon, but I couldn't find any information about it. Comment below if you know anything about it. The lighthouse overlooks the town of Hinckley, which was made famous by the groundwater contamination scandal that was exposed by Aaron Brockovich in 1993. There was even a movie about it with Julia Roberts.
$20 million is more money than these people have ever dreamed of.
These people don't dream about being rich. By the way, we had that water brought in special for you folks. Came from well in Hinckley.
What is also interesting is that the lighthouse has become somewhat of a shrine or memorial. Visitors just started coming here and creating makeshift memorials for their loved ones at the base of the lighthouse. The Hinckley Desert Lighthouse is a truly intriguing and remarkable sight to see.
Okay, let me see. Shirley asks, before we get into the question, I'll answer that in just a second. That's the video. Let me know what you think in the comments about that too, how that plays like my other videos. It's really short. It probably should have been a YouTube short. And now that YouTube shorts can be 3 minutes long, I probably could have just actually done it as a short without having to cut it down at all. But I really wanted to go to that place because it was kind of an odd thing. Sort of an odd story with it. So so that's my other least performing video I've ever done. So so I'll answer some questions and then I think we'll be done. Shirley sounds like is asking, should there be a data time subreddit? That's an interesting question. I wouldn't be against it. I just don't know if there's enough to justify it. I don't know. I might look a little bit more into it. I've thought about that. Also, people asked about Discord. Like, it just sounds like more things to try and manage. Usually, I was doing most of that on the community post, but you can't have other people. How do you post a new thing if you want to ask a question or something like that? I might try and do that. I might look into that. The email list again is sort of that, but it's mostly me sending information out. It's hard to get other people to post stuff for me. Shirley says, I thought it was too short and the algorithm didn't like it. Yeah, probably. I've seen short videos do well like that, but maybe not recently. Yeah, so maybe that should have been like a YouTube short instead of being a long form video. Too short, yes. I appreciate your efforts, bro. Thank you. I will say, so I made 2 videos that same day. I shot 2 videos the same day. Discard changes. Yeah, what did I change? I'll show you what I'm looking at here in just a second. So I went into the desert for that one video, for both of those videos. So where am I going? I'll get back to you in just a second. I'm trying to show you the 2 videos that I did that were similar. I'm standing in front of a desert. Sorry, that's the wrong one. I was still on that one. This is what I want to show you. So the one we just looked at was this one here, my failed attempt to visit a desert lighthouse. 900 views there. But then I also went into the desert to an airplane graveyard, which is also another odd thing out in the desert, not too far from the lighthouse. So I went on a trip and I went to both of them. And that did, I guess that still didn't do very well. It did better, but not super well. I also tried to use a different thumbnail for this one. I actually hired somebody to do a thumbnail for me, and they made an interesting thumbnail, and it did worse. And so I switched it back to this one. And in fact, I think I have a community post about it. Let me take a look and see. You're going to see all my community posts here. This was like a year ago. Gotta go back. Oh, I do a lot of community posts. Here we go. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's hard to see this one, but if you go back on my community post, you'll see it. So this was the one that I paid for, and this is the one that I made, and you can see I'm using this one currently. I tried this one here. I wish there was a better. Can I click? Oh, I see. I just voted. I thought I could open these up a little bit better. Which of these symbols would you click on? Yeah. So if you, oh man, that is really small. I didn't realize it was that small. But you can kind of take a look at them and decide for yourself what you're interested in. So, same underrated bids. Ratio effort. Yeah. Yes. People sometimes say stuff I do is underrated. I love hearing that. I don't know if that's just true or if that's just the people who already like my stuff are going to say that it's underrated, or if I send it out to the masses, they would all say the same thing. So, yeah, trying to make stuff that's more rated, overrated. No, that's not what I want. Things that match their rating. Okay. MJA said, came in a little late. Sorry if you talked about it before, but I'm curious what inspired you guys to create this channel. We did talk about that a little bit at the beginning, but it's basically during the pandemic. I was wanting to make tell stories about data that were a little bit too long for just one slide, one picture that I used to just post on my Facebook page for my friends. I said I need to tell a little bit of a story, and so my dating video was the first one where I did that. And yeah, so during the pandemic, I wasn't able to do as much stuff outside, so I decided to do more of it in here. Gabagool says, me personally think Mr. Beast is evil. There's been a lot of stuff coming out. Just to be clear, I made my Mr. Beast videos before all of that controversy came out. Some of the controversies come out, and then there's been some stuff kind of criticizing the controversies, maybe not being truthful. I don't know what to think. I'm just looking at data. Yeah. So, okay. You can zoom my control plus. Yeah, I should probably do that. But you can go to the community page and look at those images. Okay. I think I've covered all the things I was planning on covering, sharing some of the information from behind the scenes of how I do stuff. Let me take a look at the poll that's running. Should I continue making content about the flat Earth? 60% say yes. So a majority, but not a large majority. That's kind of what I say. If I ask people, should I keep doing this? Should I do this? Usually people say sure, but it's not necessarily indicative of like the wider audience. So you all, my fans, are like, yeah, sounds good. More data time. But then if I show it to the world, they're like, what is this flat Earth stuff? Why are we talking about it? So yeah, let me see. Okay, we'll do a few more questions, and then, so if you want to get your questions in, get them in now, because there's a little bit of a lag. I'm going to read the last few, and then we'll probably head on out. Let's see. Found you out by that ad you ran on the Veritasium channel. Another Veritasium ad. I don't think I've shown that many Veritasium ads compared to, well, here. I can show you. My ads are actually just YouTube videos that are not public. Let me filter these down real quick here. So, sorry. Here's my game theory ad. That's my #1 video. It's got 300,000 views. Veritasium, I had 2 Veritasium videos. I changed it midway. That's in total, it was like about 170. So I had a lot more views from my game theory ad than I did from both of the Veritasium videos combined. But a lot of people here are from Veritasium. So game theory did very well for bringing in viewers. I didn't think it would, because it's not like a data science kind of channel, but it did well. So I kept it going. Veritasium, I assume, is going to be closer to my audience in terms of the content. So so it's interesting to see who all's here. Okay, Shirley says, I think you should make less specific videos, sort of like how Curious Archive started making more relevant videos. But if you like this kind of stuff, oddly specific vids about data, it's fine. Curious Archive. I am unfamiliar with that. Curious, I can't spell, but that's okay. World building. That's for me, that's the most recent one. So this is more relevant videos. So the oldest videos would have been, more niche. Yeah, I was not very good at making trendy videos until recently, where I started talking about more popular people than me, like Mr. Beast or politicians. So I may consider doing that. Sorry if that sounded rude. I didn't hear anything rude. I think it's fine. Yeah. I'm just trying to go through the comments here. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it. I do have an end credit, which is basically just my Patreons. I don't know if any of you are Patreon members, but you're welcome to join. You will get your name in the credits, and maybe if I have time, I'll create more patron, features. But it's more time and more work. So last question: are you a flat earther? I am not. I try to listen to everyone about what they have to say, but I've been a globe believer for as long as I can remember, more or less, and I have not seen compelling evidence that makes me think otherwise. In fact, the more evidence I see, the the more of a Glober I am. So, but I find it interesting, the people who are very passionate about the Earth being flat, and despite what some people thought this was a joke. Like, oh, you made a video about flat earthers? This must be a joke. No, there are people who are dedicated to this. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to switch it over to the end credits. Please click on the link for the fundraiser. We're trying to raise money for the YMCA to be able to help with the fire victims. You can also click on their website I have in the description. I also have my new website there, along with the word tracker, as well as the ability to subscribe to my email newsletter. So with that, I think I am going to sign off, and thank you all for coming. If you like this, give this video a like, and maybe I'll do it again. We'll see. This is an interesting setup, going through this this live as opposed to editing videos. It's a lot quicker, but it's also a lot slower paced. So we'll see if this does well. And if you're watching in the future as well, you can still click on the fundraiser link, I believe, and let me know if this is something that you are interested in the comments below. All right, thanks everyone. And the last thing I will say is, it's data time!